Yo, what up? Welcome. It is KVJ Tuesday after the show podcast. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Jay Bird, Jay Bird. Just keep chanting. Love it. Here we go.
You're Dickie Rance. I'm Dickie Chance. I like to chant.
Dickie Chance. Yeah, let's see some of the stuff we got rolling in here today. People sending me my pro driverless car agenda stories. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you've got a robotic community out there that support you.
Yep. From Fast Company, the first study of self-driving car crash rates suggests they are safer than human drivers. From Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
Let me guess. They got a dog in that race.
Probably. Yeah. It's kind of the way everything goes, right?
Yeah. I mean, you pull out the stuff you want.
Mm-hmm. So, and also it was the story from January 2016. So it's 2 years old. So
got another one. Robots definitely will murder in the future if humans don't get their shit together.
Mm-hmm. There are definitely a lot of people who feel that way. I'm not sure that I argue with that. That artificial intelligence is a different animal.
With the actual robot where people are laying with the robot and blowing the robot.
Yeah, well, when you get into the AI, the artificial intelligence stuff, that's where I'm like, my robot agenda, I'm not sure yet.
They're only getting better. I mean, the stuff they've got now, they've got that one, what's her name? Is it Ivy? Or I forget. It's this robot that is... I mean, she gives you your emotional needs. She'll give you a hand job if you want it.
It gets just like the Will Smith movie, I, Robot, you know? And it's like, all right, look what happened there. You know?
It didn't look bad, honestly. I mean, the robot, and I think they're going to make her look even more real in the future. Harmony is her name.
You think you make that happen?
Oh, I mean.
Yeah.
Could I or would I? There's the question. Because I'm against the robot agenda.
The only thing you got to be afraid, and here's what you got to think of, too. I know people go, oh, sex robot's great. Keep in mind, though, the robot probably is going to have a computer processing system, and it's going to have cameras in its eyeballs. It's probably going to record everything you do and everything you say. I mean, your phone's already listening to what you say. So who's going to be recording your entire sex session, every weird little thing you try to do with that robot?
Not every sex robot's going to have that. They're not going to have the recording device. You'll be able to get a robot without, because there's going to be people who won't want to buy that. They want to just fuck a robot.
Are you speaking on their behalf?
No, and when
I'm not just the president, I'm the founder.
And when I say fuck a robot, I mean I'm talking about they look like that Harmony chick where she's got boobs, she's got a snatch, she's got it all.
Oh, jeez.
Those are they are my words, but it's not my story.
It's my fantasy.
It's not. I got no desire to screw a robot. I really don't. Ryan Beckett from the Weird and Whatever podcast. He is very into this whole robot thing.
He wants to bang a robot, huh?
He hasn't flat out said it, but
you ask her if he'll sleep with Kevin?
Look, I'm telling you.
He has gray hair.
I think some people as they get older, maybe they've been hurt, maybe they've been scorned, and they don't want to get fucked over emotionally anymore. It's almost like a hooker without the disease.
Right, and without the extra money every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay up front, though.
Yeah, those robots are not cheap.
Yeah, they're not.
The ones that look lifelike and actually, like, perform lifelike.
Well, there are people, especially if you like humping a lot, you're gonna want to pay that upfront fee. So it's not like, oh, I got to pay every time. So you're just like, so it's the same reason why people go to buffets, Virginia.
It's a better economic plan.
That's what they think, especially if you know you're going to be a frequent abuser. I mean, if food's your thing, that's great. But if sex is your thing and you know you're going to hump that thing 12 times a day, yeah, you're not going to pay, like, shell out $100 every time.
If you wear out that robot, you will pay top notch up front. You are absolutely right.
I hope they have no return policy on those things.
Oh, you can't. you cannot.
They can't have return
one
policy.
And done.
One and done.
You walk out the door with this thing, it's forever yours.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, it's forever yours. Yeah, if they ever do a pre-owned, that's how they call it. It's not used, because used sounds so dirty. Ugh, especially in the sex robot.
Remember we talked to that one chick? She said that her roommate was grabbing her vibrator and using her vibrator and not telling her about it, but she caught her doing that. Yeah. To me, that's a crime, in my opinion.
Kind of, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
You can't be using someone's vibrator.
That is low on such a low level.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a mess.
And the roommate, I mean, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
The roommate used it? Like,
oh, yeah.
both, like,
what do you mean both? Well, one's a victim.
One's a victim, but the roommate is gross. But why would she even want to use a used...
The one thing I have learned is you never know why someone is into the things they are into, and you can't even explain it sometimes. You're like, I love it.
Every dildo that Jaybird and I use, it comes right from the packaging.
Dildo.
We want it in the plastic wrap.
Feels like such an 80s
It
term.
is
They still
such
use dildo?
I don't even think people use dildos.
They still
anymore.
use that?
You gotta make sure that thing's got batteries in it. Vibrators where it's a dildo. You'll get an email. Oh, I still use a dildo.
Prove it.
I had this email from Taddy about the essential oils. I'd read that those essential oils make men have large breasts. That was the exact quote from the story. And Taddy says, Kevin, Mr. Smuggy, seriously, essential oil paranoia? Essential oil use has been around for over 5,000 years. Do the research on holistic medicine and stop listening to agencies that are handed big pharma money to send out negative reviews on essential oil therapies that have become quite popular. I can tell you, though, they definitely got my attention.
But I agree with this email, though. There are so many hit jobs on medication back and forth.
Yeah.
What do you believe? I know
I
one
believe
thing.
I don't want large breasts.
You have been feeling your own boobies and saying they're getting bigger.
That's paranoid.
Maybe, but I've thought, I'm like, going, yeah, I feel like, I'm getting a little plus size.
There's some
there.
oils out there that can help. I really believe that.
Let me see. Let me see your rack.
I'm wearing a tighter shirt today, too.
It doesn't look any different.
No.
Feels different.
You're not getting man titties
Yeah.
from the oils you're using.
But we may need to feel them just to make sure. Jaybird, get over there.
See, I'm getting man titties from the oils I'm eating. That's a real thing.
Fried foods.
Said use organic and or non-GMO oils as they are pure and have no bad chemical fillers in them like some of the mainstream brands do. And now it's turned into a lot of work.
I believe she's right, though.
Never apply an essential oil directly onto the skin without mixing it with a binder like jojoba oil, coconut oil, etc.
Jojoba.
Yeah, jojoba, is that it?
Jojoba.
I know nothing about it. I use the diffuser, she said. If you're going to do that, make sure to read up on it because if you let the water completely evaporate, the remaining oil can burn if not turned off. Therefore, it can change the composition of the oil, making it harmful. Okay. It is a matter of being rightfully informed and use them in the proper way. You'll be surprised by what benefits oils have, which do not involve growing man boobs. Insert eye roll. I've been using essential oils for years with absolutely no problems. Taddy. Okay.
Taddy, but she's got massive jugs.
Well, and this is for men. They're saying it gives large breasts in men is what they were saying. So, I don't know. Probably gonna take a break.
What will you do today? Will you fire up those oils?
I'll keep it here, but now I'm gonna probably leave it off until I see something else.
I'll take your oils.
It did it to me, and you're right. Maybe it's that sabotaging article that somebody's planted out there to try to, totally derail the essential oils market. But
maybe it's lies. Maybe it's truth. You won't know.
I won't know because it's
all you know is you don't want titties.
That's it. Well, you look at like, okay, I enjoy the smell of it. Does it really help with the stress? I don't know. I mean, it's not enough. It's like a big deal. But you know what would add a lot of stress? Me having large titties. That would add a lot of stress in my life. I'm not going to lie. So whatever little bit of stress it's reducing now is not worth the massive amount of stress if one day I look down and I've got D cups. That's going to be stressful.
We'll tell you. Trust me. When you have a B cup, we will let you know.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm going to take a little break.
We won't let it get to D, Kevin. We will swoop in and save you before that.
I appreciate that, but yeah, I'm going to probably leave the diffuser off for a little while. Just see. Till maybe, maybe someone will counter this story and they'll quickly show that it was crap. I hope so. And if that's the case, be like, oh, lies, fake news.
But here's the thing, though. Unless you are a bioengineer who can break down everything and you can examine all the properties in the oil, you're never going to know.
You're right.
All you're doing is you're just relying on people telling you stuff, and they both have an agenda.
Yeah. It's true. So I guess we'll find out. Another story to back this one up. Setting this out there, I'm going to back up Jaybird about the bears. I saw a bear driving southbound on the turnpike. It was amazing.
Sweet. Sweet.
I think they're saying now. Were they saying they were driving southbound on the turnpike?
A bear was driving southbound.
Or there was a bear that was driving southbound in the car.
The way they wrote that sentence, it's a bear is driving
it says,
southbound.
I saw a bear driving southbound on the turnpike. So
I pictured
it was an amazing driving bear, I think.
Well, bears love Miami, so of course he's going southbound on the turnpike.
a dude in a costume. I bet that's what he meant. Going to like a birthday party.
No, I think he actually meant he was driving and he saw a bear in the grass or in the woods.
Yeah, but the way it's written, it sounds like a bear was behind the wheel of a car.
Which is awesome.
Driving southbound on the turnpike. So I guess we'll never know. Matt said, hey, Jaybird, have you ever seen the pizza reviews by that Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports? He tries one pizza place in Manhattan once a day until he's tried them all. He takes one bite and scores a slice 0 to 10. You being a pizza expert should check out his videos on YouTube. They're pretty good.
I would love to do a gig like that, but then that's kind of taking his shit. I love that concept. I think that's great.
Go into a different place and start rating them all.
Absolutely. I would love to do an honest food blog or whatever, but I don't know the rules. If I say this fucking sucks, the salespeople are going to be up my ass.
Well, just know behind the scenes, they're still working on Pizza Fest.
Who's they? The Oompa Loompas?
No.
This magical thing that's never gonna fucking happen.
I'm just telling you, it was brought up to me. They're sharing information with me about other pizza fests around the country. Apparently, there was one over the weekend in Canada, and DJ Pauly D was there DJing it. And now, what a lot of festivals are doing to set themselves apart from other festivals, which I think this is genius, is pulling big name talents. You got Italian Pauly D from the Jersey Shore. You bring him in for a pizza fest. People come not just for the pizza, but also for the Pauly D.
Who are the big name talents?
You got Snooki.
So they're just the whole Jersey's.
You got JWoww.
The Jersey Shore cast. Okay, all right.
You got Sammy Sweetheart.
Oh, okay. That was great.
I'm telling you, that event would kick ass because there would be passion behind it.
I agree.
And people always get behind our events when there's passion behind it.
I agree.
Sounds good to me. You can go wrong with that.
It's currently being shopped.
That's why the Tom Cruise cruise is going to be awesome, too. And I actually have sat down and talked to managers about that.
Tom Cruise cruise. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the best thing ever was I remember when I was in college, I think it was Pizza Hut, used to have that lunchtime pizza buffet. We used to go there when I used to work summers doing landscaping.
They would lose so much money on my mom.
It was $5.
I don't know how.
I think it was $5. I think it was $5.
When they saw us pulling in the parking lot, they had to be like, damn it.
Oh, we tear it up. We tear it up. Oh, it was great.
It had pizza. It had salad. It had everything on it.
Had that dessert pizza, too.
Yes. With the cinnamon.
Oh, that was so good. Gosh, it was so good. Let me see here. Taking me back. Interesting stuff here. I was telling you the crazy, shocking news. Name that I talked about a good bit here on the podcast. Kid I grew up with back in the day, Don Conley. He passed away, and they had his funeral over the weekend.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
Do you have an update for us on the cause of death?
Well, it's an interesting thought from Tom from Coral Springs because, I looked at the obituary they had. My parents didn't have any more information. I said, well, what did he die of? They just said his son came home and found him dead. And I was like...
That's not an answer to what did he die of.
Well, you're a little alarmed because he's my age, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Guys in their 40s shouldn't just drop dead, and everybody's like, oh, well.
Right. If my son, Cannon, comes home, just finds me dead, I'd like to know of what.
Thank you.
Because I don't just naturally natural... No, what? No.
Do they not question anything in Ohio?
I guess not. Yep, he's dead. So you sure he's dead? Yeah, he's dead. All right. Put him in the hole.
It sounds suspicious, at the very minimum.
Tom said, I was a police officer in the Midwest for over 20 years, and usually when an obit says, died at home unexpectedly, 95% of the time, it was usually a suicide.
Really?
Yeah. That's what Tom...
Killed himself?
We don't know.
That's what Tom speculated.
We don't know. Yeah, but we're speculating on a man's death here.
I love to speculate.
I know, but we shouldn't.
That's just what he said. He said that's usually what would happen. So I don't know. I do know that my mom had said, and it was almost like she had alluded to maybe that might have been it because talking about like the pain that he had from the car wrecks and the back issues.
Again, though, we got to be careful by saying what we don't know.
I'm not saying.
It could have been one of his enemies that staged it and made it look like a suicide.
No, I don't think anybody's that complex.
That's
Logan.
smart, Logan.
Yeah, that's not to say smart. I'm just saying complex. They're simple people. They like a simple plan. They're like, they just You know, they do what Don does. They just kick a man to death. That's kind of it. That's how they handle things in my hometown. So he said it's funny to listen to Kevin's stories about Don because when I was a police officer, we dealt with a guy all the time, Richard Anderson, no relation, whose nickname from middle school was Dummy Anderson, and he was proud of the nickname. We swear the guy could not feel any pain at all. He was always in fights and would never stop no matter how bad a shape he looked to be.
Wow.
Yeah. So people have that ability. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I've seen guys with the biggest beer belly who are out of shape whip some fucking ass, man. I mean, we're talking like real fighting.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, you never knew. And sometimes in Logan, too, we had some small little bastards that were the scrappiest, man. They would almost like run up a giant and pound him in the face. And it was crazy. You never knew. You couldn't judge by size or nothing.
Wouldn't it be ironic and off if a man like Don Connolly, who lived his whole life dishing out pain and taking pain and not feeling it, ended his own life because he was in pain? I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Hopefully my parents will give me an explanation because I am kind of curious as to what it might have been.
You ever see a short dude beat up a big-ass dude, especially when the big-ass dude was picking on the short dude?
I love those videos.
Oh, those videos are great.
Those videos of the bully, like bullying a little kid, and the little kid just whips his ass, make me so happy.
Yeah, those are pretty good videos. There's a lot of them on there, too.
I saw it enough that I was just like, yeah, you would never like, we come in and, like, I'd have, like, some college buddies with me. I'd be like going, don't mouth off to anybody. Just.
Please.
Yeah, it's like, you may look like, you may think you can take them, but sometimes, too, they've got brothers.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes their brothers are weirdly big.
And sometimes a guy can be all big and muscly, but he's got no heart. He's got no endurance for pain. He's
got no endurance to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Fighting is hard.
It is. Just because you're a big person and strong looking does not mean you know how to fight.
No, we had a farm boy that I grew up with. We went to the same country church together, and he was massive. He's about 350 pounds, big old guy. Brent was his name. And Ohio State came calling, and they're a big football program, and they got Brent in there, and they're like, you're massive, and he was so strong. Like, this guy could probably, like, bench press a tractor. And he was just a gentle soul, and his mom would always be talking to my mom. His parents were massively huge. They'd be like, going, poor Brent, he's up there, and they just can't get him to be mean. And they would be slapping him on the line, be like, going, come on, get pissed off. He'd be like, I won't hurt anybody. And so poor old Brent, he's a big old gentle giant, and they're like going, dude, you've got to somehow, like, you've got all this physical ability. And he played at Ohio State, which is impressive, but I mean, he never had a future past that because he just didn't want to hurt anybody.
Aww.
And he was just a big old gentle giant. Yeah, I had a ton of them big old country boys that were like that. Just in fact, that's why you be afraid of the small ones,
the scrappy ones.
It was the tiny ones that scared the hell out of you. Yeah, in fact, it was Don's dad, Boyd, that was that way. Oddly enough, small little rootin' tootin' skinny guy, always wore a white T-shirt, and he's the one that would pick up Don and his brother Mike to go to their fights. And Boyd he was squirrely. Yeah, you didn't want to fuck around with Boyd. Boyd probably weighed about 130 pounds.
Wow.
Could whip the shit out of a 300-pound man, though, no problem.
Is Boyd still with us?
Yeah, Boyd was there at the funeral home.
Oh,
yeah.
That had to be tough.
Yeah, Boyd's still doing great. So,
dang.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a Logan mystery.
Well.
Who knows?
They need to get that autopsy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'd like to see the medical examiner's report. I mean, I know it has nothing to do with me, but I'm super nosy.
Yeah, I want to be able to close the chapter.
Thank you.
I didn't know. He's a childhood friend and acquaintance. Turn your mic off.
Did you turn your microphone off again?
I don't know how. With my mind? When did I do that?
Jedi mind trick.
That's how powerful your hamburger hands are.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Got an email from Chad. Said, hey, I read up recently on the iHeartMedia bankruptcy and was curious what your thoughts are. Would like to hear your perspective since y'all once worked for the company. Yeah, it was something people have known for a while. The company, in the course of it, they had been in $20 billion of debt, and they've been kind of carrying it along and have been a productive company, but they've had that debt just kind of like hanging over them. And so I think for the most part, it's really just kind of a restructuring deal, so they can do some stuff. And who knows?
Nobody's going anywhere necessarily.
No. In fact, they had sent out an email to the corporation saying, look, nobody's going to be losing their jobs. It's not going to be a massive, when we had worked there,
They sent that fake email out.
Yeah, when we had worked there, we had seen. I remember. I think they even called it like was it Black Monday or something like that. Yeah, where we
massive layoffs.
We were doing the show, and we had a studio that had a window right into the parking lot, and we just saw. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's everybody going? And there were just these sad faces, just with boxes walking into the parking lot, and somebody's like, oh yeah, they hacked like half of the staff today.
Do you remember we went through like 3 of them in like a year?
Yeah.
And every time after a group of people would be fired, like all the managers would get everybody.
Let's have a meeting, a team building.
So you guys right here are the A team. This is the team we're moving forward with. And then 2 months later, half the A team got fired. I'm like, what about these other fuckers that were the A team? They dropped out to the B team.
You guys are the A+ team.
And then they'd have another meeting. No, dude, you guys are the ones we want to go to war with. Like only 11 motherfuckers left here.
It's tumbleweed.
Well, when they started, remember they had that massive building that was full when we first got there in '99, and by the time we left to go to Miami, it was about a
ghost town.
It was a ghost town. It's so big, and it's like they don't need it. Like
even when I was there, like even towards the middle, there was a lot of people working there.
Yes.
Yeah, it was weird, and you go over there now, and it's a ghost town.
They got all these cubicles with nobody in them.
Well, it got so bad. Remember that the whole thing that used to be like a cubicle farm, they put in a pool table.
They did.
Right? They had so much. They had like, we got to make this look good somehow. Like,
oh, we're putting in a pool table so you guys can play and have fun.
Yeah, it's a little trick. Like, okay, cool.
We love pools.
Sure, those 12 people got fired. We got a pool table.
You don't see that often here at this building. Not a lot of people have been fired. At least not that I've noticed. Have you? I mean, a couple.
Not without just cause.
Yeah, there's been a couple, which every company has, but not like a thing where a chunk of people are gone. We haven't seen that yet.
No massive layoffs yet. Will you knock on wood, please?
I got no wood. Sorry.
I think this is wood.
Is it wood? All right.
Yeah, so no, I think it'll probably be good. Probably be good for the company. The only thing is possibly they still have like 820 radio stations. Some people are saying, okay, could they possibly sell some of those? iHeartMedia, they're really nationally focused, and that was part of the reason why we're no longer with them is because the iHeart app. They believe in that. They believe in the iHeart Music Festival and those kind of things. The big national talents that they have, your Elvis Durans and your Bobby Bones and, those kind of guys they put a lot of investments in. And they don't make a ton of money on, a market like West Palm Beach. Like a lot of the money is in your top 10 markets, your New York and, your Boston, L.A., those kind of markets. That's where they're making a bulk of their money. And sometimes the problem was, for us, we're like media market like 48. And for them, like at the corporate offices, they're like, ugh, like you were just an afterthought. Like you were more of a bother than anything. And they didn't care. It didn't matter how well you were doing.
West Palm wankers, they used to call us.
Yeah, but because their focus was so on the national product. And so, if they could, probably what would be good, I'd almost root for this, is that they would sell off a majority of their stations below the top 20 markets so that maybe they could find companies that would take them and believe in local radio and invest and putting more bodies in there and having kind of like that local feel, and then
you'll turn those major markets back to local radio.
Which I think a lot of people do like.
Actually, local radio wins in the end.
I think people do like local radio. I think people want to hear stuff that's going on in their area. I mean, I know I would. Wouldn't you?
That's basically our mantra. That's what we build KVJ on, and that's why we're
that's
here.
How you butter your bread, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I just noticed a lot of those stations and shows that go very national, like you're talking about, they all sound the same to me. They all do War of the Roses. They all do the same fucking bits. Not that we haven't done some of that stuff, but they do it a lot. And it's the same thing. There's nothing different about it.
They're in circumstances where when you're in that competitive of a market and there's so much riding on it, that they have a coach or a consultant in there, and they're telling you have to go with the best testing bits possible. And we've tested them all. And Phone Scams and War of the Roses are the 2 best testing bits for women, whatever, for this format. And so they'll cram it down your throat. And so they've homogenized, so they've taken away any kind of real individuality from show to show because they're trying to execute what, some list and research has told them are the best testing radio bits ever, but it doesn't leave for people doing anything really that different, and that's why from market to market you hear the same bits.
And I'm sorry. When it comes to all that research shit, you always are going to find something that suits your agenda. I really believe that. I do.
Yeah, and I don't,
with
vouch
anything.
one way or the other for the research.
With anything. Especially radio research.
Because every show is different and unique, and if you got people doing the same fucking thing, how can they agree on that?
You don't allow for creativity to sprout up. And then honestly, like, and here we are. It's been, what, 10 plus years, really, since you've seen that kind of, national cookie cutter radio that's been going on, where you have had your phone scam shows and your, War of the Roses shows and all those kind of things out there. And you're like going, how many times? Like, I personally, I couldn't do year 12 of War of the Roses. I mean, Facebook Fishing, which was a bit we created, here, I just got tired of it. We just don't really do it anymore,
We bring it back every now and then, but
I'm with you. It's tired. It's so
tired.
Well, here's the thing. I think if the people doing it are tired, that's all you need to. I mean, you're losing your heart. You're losing your passion.
Thank you.
And now you're just cashing a check.
I don't need anybody else to tell me what I'm going to be good at. I know what I'm good at.
Especially a gig where you know your audience.
Right.
Not everyone knows every audience is different, and I really feel people's perspectives are changed and morph regionally where they live at. People think things because that's where they live at, and that's a big part of what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, and and for us, Miami was a lesson for us that we realized. We couldn't go into a Miami and try a bit like right now. I'm loving Denny's Knows When You're High. It's one bit that I love, or Denny's Joke Jury. Those would have been bits that, we created that we wouldn't be able to do because they're like going, oh, I don't know, we got to test it first.
Women 35 to 38 do not like weed jokes, Kevin.
They would want to take that bit, and then they would want to go and they have a focus group, a room of however many people, and they
who have
test
never
it.
heard it before and have never heard us before.
And by the way, when they do those focus groups, people say it usually takes about 4 to 5 times to like something new. Even if a lot of times you hate something right off the bat, you're going in there with preconceived notions.
Well, all I remembered was, it was the final meeting that I'd sat down with our team in Miami, and they had taken a bunch of our bits, and they had come back and like, yeah, the ratings are just bad. I'm like, people just don't like your stuff. And I remember the one bit that I was like, I don't belong here. I remember the one bit we had with Ann. They tested that with where we played that prank where we hid all the alarm clocks all over her room, and they kept going off at 5-minute intervals.
Hilarious.
One of my favorite bits all time that we've ever done, and they're like, yeah, that came back a D. Like, that's just
But who the fuck were they asking?
Exactly.
Though?
And so when that happened, I'm like, one, I don't like your focus group. I don't like your radio station. I don't think I like you guys. I'm ready to go. Because if that's because that's what we do and that's what we find funny.
Yes.
And if whoever your focus group is or whoever you say your audience is finds that to be a D, then yeah, it's just not going to work. I know we've been to a place where we can get really great ratings, man. And so I think it's just we need to be there.
Those focus groups scare me, not because I'm afraid to hear what people think, and because I want the best things that we can do on the air. Of course, I don't want people to be turned off by what we do, but those fucking focus groups, my goodness, they are so biased when going into that shit. I don't trust them. I do not. I want to see how it's done. I want to see who's taking it. What kind of questions are you asking?
Well, and probably at that point they wanted to have a focus group that said what they wanted to say and saying all the
Yes.
And that's why for me when it came back that bit to me was a D. And there's not, if you had to say probably top 3 bits I would throw out there to be like going, this is a KVJ bit that I love and I think is good. That would be one of the 3. And when that came back a D, I'm like going, all right, either I don't have it or...
The programming management at that station made it clear. They wanted a few things. They wanted a Latin show, which we are not.
Yeah.
Check your skin. You're not Latin.
No, I know.
They wanted more music, which we are not.
Oh, man.
And they wanted somebody who was going to be familiar already in the Miami market, which we were not.
Remember?
Okay, so it wasn't going to work out. They got DJ Laz in there, and he's doing great for them.
I knew we were fucked when the one boss goes, so we're talking about 6 songs an hour now. You guys can get behind the music, right? Support the music, really get behind the artist. I was like,
fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Here it goes. That conversation happened in a car, too.
Oh, my gosh.
And I wanted to jump out of the moving car and just roll.
Really get behind the music.
And that song would be happy.
Yeah, really get behind the music. The community wants to hear you guys talking about how much you just love the music.
We want you to hear happy again.
I'm sorry. I don't fucking like your music.
I got this email from Jason. Said, "Dear Murderface,
I think we know who he's addressing.
Any chance of an all-lesbian version of Hookup or Hang-Up or some other lesbian game with the Lake Worth Pride Parade coming up soon? Seems like a great time for the show to do something. In the words of the immortal Howard Stern, lesbians equal ratings." Yeah, I don't know if this week the Hookup or Hang-Up just was something that was every time we do a dating show, and I gave it another run because enough people had sent in emails, and I think we'd gone about 5 years between doing a dating show, and
we always throw in
about every 5 years
a Jaybird dating game in there somewhere.
About every 5 years, I like doing a dating game, and so we did the Hookup or Hang Up, which I thought was a better format that I'd like than some of the other dating show formats we'd had, and I liked it a couple times.
I liked it a couple times too, but again, it depends on the people you got.
Yeah, I like it when it's Jaybird doing it.
Mm-hmm. It ran its course.
I completely agree with you,
so
man.
it's nothing against gay, lesbian, straight, whatever, anything. It's just, there
was a few of them where I was just like, okay, when the fuck is this over? And that's not a good thing to say when you're on the air.
Yes, that's true.
What about if we did a drag race with Pride Fest coming up?
Again?
I love those.
Yeah, I remember the last one was disastrous. It didn't work out well.
We had two that did not work out.
Because we relied on...
in my head, it's
over for Kevin.
Yeah.
We relied on vehicles being supplied by the station that were not appropriate. But what if we did a foot race, a heel race?
Mm-hmm. Did we try that too?
We did, and it didn't work. No, I remember this little period. There was back-to-back of bits that we tried to do, and they both tanked horribly, and I think they both tanked on the air, and I could see it in my boy's eyes. He was done.
Yeah, you know me. If something tanks,
it was. I didn't even dare to ask because I knew it was over.
Bit tanks hard enough. Yeah, it's probably not coming back. Yeah.
But in Virginia's defense, we did have a lot of shit go wrong. That was not our fault.
It could probably be a good video. I mean, I know when we did the Daytona 500 out at Pride, it was funny. It was good because again, we had the right players. Remember they got in that fight and they were like trying to scratch to the.
That was the best thing about the Daytona 500. But that's the reason why they're not doing it this year. I got the inside intel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They did not like the fight and all the threats afterwards. I mean, it was ugly.
Yeah, apparently
it got real ugly.
Really?
Catty,
yeah.
Like it was not kidding?
No.
With the winner and the...
With the winner and the runner-up, there was major drama.
Mm-hmm.
The runner-up was pissed.
Yeah.
And she was coming for blood. It was not a good situation. There was things being said on social media that I can't repeat.
But it was fun. That was fun. That'd be like, okay, I'd do that one again. That seemed like that was successful. The crowd seemed to really like that one. Yeah, that seemed to work out pretty well. But yeah,
I asked, hey, can we do something out there again? Mm-hmm. But they said because of insurance purposes, the KVJ show can no longer do Daytona 500.
Yeah, well, it was fun while it lasted that 1 year.
That's not the first thing we've been banned from doing.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Roxanne sent an email, said, thank you guys so much for telling Damien happy birthday. We heard it while stuck in traffic on the way to school, and it made his day.
Aww.
He has said that he is going to save the podcast and share with his kids one day.
That's
so cool. See, that's why I love local radio, because you can't do that if you're a national show. It just be like, yeah, I want to say happy birthday to you. Be there in 3 hours.
I feel like you get less real too with the national. You have to be. I mean, you even seen it when we were syndicated. We had to cut shit out because you have a schedule you got to hit.
Yeah,
you do. It takes out a little bit of the raw.
Yeah. You have to change your show enough, and you had to strip it down because you couldn't throw out landmarks, and I loved all that. I think it's so cool when you get to talk about, hey, I know this bartender at this bar, and people are like, yeah, okay, I know that place, yeah, oh, I know them. That's just I love that connection.
When we talk about the fake Rod Stewart, some people know what we're talking about, and that's a cool thing.
Absolutely, yeah. I love to be able to have that. That's why I really do love. I love where we are, and honestly, I wouldn't trade it for the paycheck and the extra aggravation of having to do what. And I know some people that are in those situations, and God bless them. That's great. They've got a national audience. Yeah, it is.
More money does not always mean happy. It really doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Yeah. No, I've seen it with a couple good friends of mine.
And it comes with a shit ton of pressure. We put pressure on ourselves now, but I mean, when you have people asking, all right, Kevin, you have to do Drunk Girl Trivia 5 times because we have a sponsor.
Well, it's a different style. It's a lot more corporate. And for every station you're syndicated on, that's another person that has a comment and usually typically a complaint about your show and something you need to fix and change.
Totally. There's always going to be someone who's got to change
yeah.
some shit up.
Yeah. So, you know, I've seen people have to deal with that, and they're just like, oh, the headaches I got to deal with.
The people we always have to listen to is ourselves and the people who listen to this program. The nationers.
Absolutely.
They really are. Not to sound corny. I know that sounds like a cheese dick thing to say, pandering. But, I mean, fuck. What are we doing here?
What are we doing
pandering cheese dick. What if your dick was really made of cheese?
I would be blessed.
He would be dickless.
He'd eat
You're right.
He'd eat his own dick.
Be eating my dick all the time.
There would be a night he'd be drunk, and he'd just eat his own dick.
But
wouldn't even be drunk.
good news, like a lizard's tail, it grows back.
Oh, well, then I would. Oh yeah, I would
He'd eat his dick daily.
daily.
What'd you have to eat today? I ate my dick 10 times. What? There you go.
Great question, by the way.
All right, well, luckily enough to eat your dick, you got Bud's Chicken and Seafood.
Yay!
Got the bird sauce, got the bud sauce.
Oh, got that seafood platter.
Yeah.
Got those crab cakes.
The crab cakes. I mean, honestly, they really do have amazing food.
Do they do a crab cake sandwich?
It's a great question. Why you gotta fucking put me on the spot?
Yeah.
Why do I gotta drop?
I know you don't do crab, but you know I do.
Well, I know you love crab. Well, I know people love the crab because I'm getting emails about the crab. But yeah, I will get your answer later.
All right.
Thanks for calling me out. Appreciate it.
Check it out. 7 locations in Palm Beach County. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.